Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.
Boom, let's talk about it. So check this out, right? I was thinking of something today while I was at the gym, and one of the most important times in your life is the in-between time. Now, what is the in-between time, you might ask? The in-between time is right in the middle of what you've been praying for and the completion of the process. That's the in-between time. And a lot of times, the in-between time is when we mess up and block God's blessing. See, in the in-between time, you can go left or right. You could have been praying for something for so long, right? And you're in the in-between and you get frustrated. Frustration is the key to a lot of people blocking their blessing. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, like I said, I always be personal. I've been going through something, with the passing of my grandma, and it's not even a battle for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a battle because I already know the outcome, right? But the in-between time that I'm stuck in, I have had to endure things that I feel has caused me to be in that in-between time a little longer. And it's simply because of how I worked the in-between. You see, sometimes, in this life, we can look at situations, right? And we'll say like, well, God, why is this? When I'm doing everything that you said to do, why is this? Right? And sometimes in that middle is the biggest learning opportunity. That's when you learn what you're really made of. You see, when, it's during the championship run, that's when you learn, okay, all of the training, all of the hard work, all of them hours in the gym, now it's going to pay fruition, right? So in my in-between time, I was focused on the right and the wrong of the situation, right? And I'm just like, man, this dead wrong. And focusing on that, I turned away from the end goal. Therefore, I was stuck, right in that middle. So my message to anybody out there right now that's in the middle, you feel like God isn't hearing you. You feel like it's never going to work. This is my advice to you. Stay in the course of the process. You see, a lot of times, business owners, you've been praying that your business takes off the ground, right? And right now, you're not making sales, you're not this, that, and other. And it just feels like man, what if everybody that was telling me that I was stupid for starting this is right? What if this, that, and the other, right? So you're hearing all of that and it messes with you and you block God's blessing. See, a lot of times God will put you in a situation, right, that he can only help you. That's why I'm a firm believer, and I can't tell everybody my problems because everybody can't help you. That's why when you're in a bad mood or this, that, and the other, and you go to somebody and they're going to pump into you why you're right, I have no time for that. I can only deal with situations that's going to make me better. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not doing something right, tell me I'm not doing it right. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes God will put you in a situation that the only choice that you have is to lean on God. The only choice that you have is to lean on God. See, because when you depend on other people, they get the glory. When you're going through something and you in that middle time and you say, you know what, I've been talking to my friend all night long. They really helped me in this, that, and the other. Then when it feels like you starting to make some headway, the first thing you do, I want to thank my friend. They really pushed me through. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen a lot of times, but what I'm saying is when you're in between that middle, when I'm talking about something big, see, a lot of times you're in that in between time because God has something bigger for you. A lot of people think shallow, right? You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, okay, God, help me get this business, right? And you want this business, but you at a low scale because that's all you can see. When God is trying to put you into major stores, right? So because he's trying to put you in major stores, you're stuck in the middle because he is trying to fine tune you for what's greater. But when you start leaning on everything else, you'll never succeed. You'll never, ever reach the full potential because you're comfortable right there. I've been doing this, making videos and stuff, right? And this is a funny story. I've been making these videos, and I mean, I'm talking about for a long time, writing. I got a website, all of this stuff, right? And my biggest thing was I didn't really market myself. And I didn't market myself because I always felt like, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing this just to do it. So during those times, I would stop doing it periodically, and then people would hit me up like, hey, what's up? I ain't heard from you, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other. And then I'll start again, and then, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other, right? But the funny thing is, a lot of the people that I thought would support me, they didn't. And it caused me so much turmoil because I'm like, I support you behind the scenes. I do everything, right? But you can't support me, right? And I missed my blessings because I was so focused on this level. I was focused on this shadow level. But what I didn't understand is that God had bigger for me. He had bigger for me, right? And so I was reaching people that needed to be reached. But because I was focused on the who didn't, it was a smack in the face to God because he's like, look, I got bigger for you. You're thinking locally. I'm thinking globally. So my message to anybody out there right now that is stuck in the middle, keep pressing forward. The God that we serve is an unlimitless God. See, we have limits. We can, if you ever been looking for a job and you go on Indeed and you're looking at the job and you're like, oh, I want this job. Then you look at the qualifications. Got to have the master's, got to have this, that, and the other. So many people just scroll on to the next. You know why? Because you say, I don't fit those qualifications. But guess what? If that job is for you, God will have already spoken to the hiring manager. The only thing that's left to do is you to prove that you have faith. And that's where we go wrong. We're looking at things from our level. We're looking at, I don't have these qualifications. You go into that car lot and you're looking at this car, right? And you like, God, I've been faithful with this old beat up car that I got. I treat this beat up car like it's a Lexus, but it's falling apart. Now, I have been faithful. I have been doing everything that I'm supposed to do. And I feel like this is my car. Then you go in there, you talk to the salesperson, and then they say, I don't know. You know, I'm looking at your credit score. I'm looking, blah, 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 blah. And the first thing that you do, you leave that car lot and you go on social media and you look at the next person who you think is just not a good person, and they got a brand new car. And not only did they get a brand new car, they got the car that you wanted. And what do? You start hating on that person. And guess what you have done? You have just blocked your blessing because all God wanted you to do is trust him. You see, it might not have been that car right then, but there's an order of precedence. What if God said, you know what, that car is for you, but I'm going to let this job come into your life first. I'm going to make sure that you're making this amount so you're able to afford that car. All you got to do is, while you're in the middle, is trust God. That's it. But you're so focused on the surface. A lot of people get in these relationships and they end horribly, and then they feeling all down and this, that, and other. Then God send somebody your way that you're supposed to be with, and you still stuck on last season. I ain't trusting nobody no more. Oh, this, that, and other. See, you're in the in-between and you're leaning on your own understanding. So, to wrap this up and summarize this, if you're in the in-between, trust God, because he's a God that'll never fail as long as you're aligned to receive the blessing.